Let's talk about the BBC.
Yes, let us talk about the BBC because let's kick off with a few statistics, shall we? Watching hours for people looking at the BBC are down from 80 to 56 hours a day, right? In 10 years,
Yeah,
56 minutes, right?
yeah.
Half of 16 to 34-year-olds don't watch it at all.
Wow.
TV license is down 450,000 in households. YouTube now has more viewers than the BBC between 6 and 15-year-olds. And this is my favourite one. Do you know how much they make from the license fee, which has not been decriminalised now when they could have done it? £3.52 billion, right? That's what they make. And you know what, Mark? They still can't make a profit. They made a loss
It is
of 119
extraordinary.
million.
I mean, how is that possible? They also receive income, don't they, from the sales of BBC formats around the world, and they consider that to be their income, their money. But really, we are the shareholders because we paid for it in the first place.
Well, that's exactly right. And not only do we pay for it, but we also pay for the programming, we pay for all the staff, we pay for all the journalists, we pay for all the trips to Washington that they make, we pay for all the hordes. I don't know about you, but whenever I watch BBC News, the 24-hour service, these people pop up who I've never seen before. And they've obviously been working there for years and years and years. Now suddenly they're on camera. That woman who, quit from the job in China is never off the TV. She's supposed to have resigned. Ken Macquarie is the guy who was in charge of BBC Scotland and BBC Regions, right, for £325,000 a year. He retired, and then they gave him another job to be in charge of making sure that it's not too biased. And guess what they pay him for that? Another 325,000 quid.
It's just cricket scores, isn't it? I was looking at some of the salaries today, and you've got presenters on digital radio on 400 grand a year. Now, I don't want to make it personal. I don't care, who the different celebrities are. The bottom line is it's not their fault. They've got good agents. The BBC should just not be paying top dollar for talent that, frankly, in many cases, wouldn't get a gig anywhere else.
Well, exactly right. Also, their radio listening hours are down 15% since 2013.
Well, you know why that is, don't you, Mike?
In no small part of the good offices of Talk Radio, that's for sure. And Virgin, and Talk Sport, and Talk Sport 2, and Times Radio as well.
Absolutely.
But the point is that, the commercial sphere of broadcasting is a very, very difficult place to be. And you've got to have an awful lot of money to even think of competing with the BBC. And aside from anything else, Mark, what they produce now is absolute drivel. I mean, I can't remember the last BBC show that was actually not produced externally on television that I was interested in seeing.
I wonder, is there a sweet spot, Mike? Can we meet the BBC halfway with the principle that a non-commercial outfit that is serving the national interest, the state broadcaster, pursuing innovation, going for kind of risky sitcoms and new writers and new talent, but do it on half the money and don't criminalise the non-payment of the licence fee?
Well, I think your last words are the crucial words, because clearly the way that the system works now is unworkable. I mean, the government had an opportunity to decriminalise not paying the licence fee, but they didn't because they were worried that it might encourage more people not to pay it. But the problem is they claim they've only locked up 5 people for not paying the TV licence in a couple of years. 5 people have been put in prison for not paying the license fee. Can you imagine if Netflix came knocking on the door and said, look, I'm sorry about this, but I'm afraid you're going to have to pay us $13.99 a month, or we're going to prosecute you and put you in jail. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, indeed. And the problem you've got is that while that figure of 5 is not enormous, there are many pensioners who live in fear of being banged up and are having to choose sometimes between whether to heat their homes, whether to feed themselves, or pay for Gary Lineker.
I know, it's absolutely shameful. If I was Gary Lineker, he's got so much money now, he should work for nothing. He should be like Mike Bloomberg when he was mayor of New York City, or even Donald Trump when he was president. He didn't actually take the salary because he didn't need it, didn't want to take it, right? So Mike Bloomberg worked for $1 when he was mayor of New York City. I'm going to propose to Gary Lineker right now, he should work for £1 and give the rest back to the BBC.
Mike, I'm going to make a professional offer to you, but only if you promise that you will stay on mid-mornings at Talk Radio. Would you consider, because let's not forget, you used to be a brilliant Talk Sport presenter, at first through the nights, then mid-morning, your weekend show as well, everything. You made your name in national broadcasting on Talk Sport. Would you consider taking over as the presenter of Match of the Day?
I would not, no. First of all, I don't ever want to work for the BBC. So just in case they've ever been considering calling for me, I don't want their offer. Thank you very much indeed. There are very many great people that do work on Match of the Day. I quite like Alan Shearer, actually. I think Ian Wright's brilliant. I just think Gary Lineker's overpaid, sanctimonious, and as we've often said in the past, a little bit too smug for my liking.
He is, as always, the enemy of the fence. He never sits on it.